You ready? Here we go. So when A is negative, we've talked a little bit about this. When A is negative, it opens up. It opens down. It's still the same thing. I just gave you 3 different equations so you would know. So if you see negative x squared with no h and k, it's still going to be reflected. If you see it this way, it's going to be reflected over the x-axis. If you see it this way, the negative is in front of the number, it's going to be reflected. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do an example with you guys. We're going to do 2 examples like this. So this is the reflection part. So there's 3 transformations, up, down, right, or left. I consider that one transformation. The other one is reflected over the x-axis. And then we'll get to the last one. And then we're going to put them all together. So here is a problem, okay? And now you guys, if you go to use something, it won't know that you're looking for a transformation. So you have to pay attention. So
it's 9, 3, right?
Yes, that's a 9.
I'm saying like
Oh, yes, the vertex is positive 9, positive 3.
Is it a positive 9 because the negative outside of that?
No, because it's inside. Anytime, whatever number's inside, you take the opposite when you go to write it.
Oh, okay.
So if it said x plus 9, it would have been a negative 9. Okay, so now, the negative tells us that it is reflected over, hold on, the x-axis. So we're going to, you guys, you always start with the first thing you see. So the first thing I see after the y. The y doesn't count, the equal doesn't count. It's what do you see first after the equal sign? I see a negative sign. If there's no negative sign, then you won't write this. But there's a negative, so it's reflected over the x-axis. The next thing, yep, only if there's a negative, that's when you write reflected over the x-axis. Yep, always the x-axis. Now, what's x minus 9? What does that tell me? Translated, is that left or right?
Left.
It's translated right, 9 units. If you, no, look, if you look at your notes, if it says x minus h squared inside, it translates to the right. If it says x plus, then it's translated to the left. Okay, so now what does the 3 tell me?
Up 3 times.
Yep, up 3 units. Perfect.
Are you done recording?
Okay. So here's our problem. You know I'm going to ask you to find the vertex. So before you had to plug something in, like you had to plug the axis of symmetry in to find the vertex. This time, once it's in vertex form, the vertex is given to you. Okay, so are there any parentheses?
No.
That means there's no h, so my h is 0. If there's no parentheses, there's no h value. What is my k? Nope, it's 11. Only the opposite if there's parentheses. Only opposites are when you see parentheses. Now let's talk about the transformation. After the f of x, and after the equals, what's the first thing you see? A negative. That means it's reflected over the x-axis. That it will always be reflected over the x-axis. And it only happens when the first thing you see after the equal sign is a negative. If you don't see a negative, then it's not reflected over the x-axis. Translated. Now, is there an H? So it means no right or left. So the K tells me up or down. So is it translated which direction? Up, how many units?